Alright, here's my entry to rescue the pretty young things who were lost west of Tasmania. I did my charting in ArcGIS. I am using the Web Mercator projection. Web Mercator, it's essentially the Mercator projection. Let me save these. WGS 84 is the projection. Here is the geodesic route drawn from Cape Town to Adelaide. And here is my location, approximately 863 miles away from Adelaide, drawn with a geodesic. Here is the estimated MPP, which is drawn approximately 60 to 65 miles abeam of that route. At these coordinates, 45.046 degrees south, 125.026 degrees east. Here's 30 nautical miles north, 30 nautical miles east to my search grid entry location of 44 degrees, 54.543 degrees south, 125.725 degrees east. And I chose to take off from Adelaide Airport, YPAD, and the distance to the search grid entry is approximately 822.5 nautical miles, and the distance to return from the MPP back to Adelaide YPAD is 864.75 nautical miles. And I made a spreadsheet to prepare for this the other night. I thought maybe we'd have 2 points and bearings to intersect, so we don't need those lines. So the takeoff airport is YPAD, those coordinates. I put in an altitude of 14, it's not necessary. The bearing to the point and from to the search grid and the return, I had to calculate using a page I found on the internet, because ArcGIS has no convenient built-in way of giving you the geodesic bearing to a location. So the one I used was this right here, this JavaScript Great Circle Calculator. I entered the latitude and longitude, YPAD, the runway, and down here for the latitude and the longitude of both the MPP and the search grid entry location. And it gave me these courses here and distances in nautical miles. So back here in the spreadsheet, that's the bearings I entered right there, and these distances right there. Our initial fuel was 20,000 pounds. We had a fixed reserve of 1,500 pounds. The outbound I calculated running through here. Taking off our fixed reserve, we have 18,500 pounds to begin with. We taxi and take off with 300. Take off to the climb, various climbs, and it takes us 2 hours, well, 2.23 hours to fly from takeoff to the search grid entry. Once at the search grid, I calculated that we fly a total of 840 nautical miles at 200 knots, with the fuel burn rate given here. it's going to consume 6,300 pounds of fuel, and that will leave us 7,245.76. Now, the return flight, we need to have both enough for the return flight and keep our 1,500 pounds of reserve. That gave us our bingo fuel amount of 6,359.17 pounds that I calculated. And so after one full grid search, we had 7,245 left, which meant we had just enough left, 886.59, to continue the search for an additional little more than half an hour. So our total time at the grid search was 4.79 hours. And then we were forced to return because we were at bingo fuel. The bingo fuel calculation, we leave the search grid at the MPP with 6,359 pounds, and we have 864.75 miles to fly back to YPAD from the MPP. Given these speeds and fuel rates per hour. And our time to land back after leaving the MPP is 2.33 hours. So that's it. I wanted to show the chart again. I downloaded some ONCs for Australia, but we didn't quite cover the area. I thought we were going to be intersecting a couple of locations coming off the coast, but nevertheless, they weren't necessary anyway. The runway point locations came from an old version of the DAFIF file, which was a big GIS database of runways and nav aids and whatnot. And again, the projection we're using on this is Web Mercator WGS 1984 for the datum. Coordinate system is using degrees, although internally it uses meters for its calculations with these parameters. And that's pretty much it. Let's hope we can find those ladies, and good luck to everyone else.